Hey, hey, what can I say? You preserved my ass. I truly appreciate you not saying anything. I tell you, that blood you guys got's an amazing thing. Helped close up a few wounds. This back alley patch fixed up the rest. I needed that beating. Good reminder not to overestimate my ability. Oh, by the way, I paid a visit to our friends on the cliff up there early this morning. ODing's a painful way to go, especially when your kneecaps are on the floor next to you. What can I say? Payback can be a bitch like that.
Hi. This life... Thank you.
You brought my Lily back. I'm gonna be getting out of LA soon.
The box missing, looks like. All this cargo in one little box gone.
That could just be a typo in the manifest.
Yeah, or someone in the crew could have swiped it.
Lost it?
For now, we should assume that's what they came out here for.
Does it say what was in it?
Nope. Looks like it was packaged with the big coffin thing, the sarcophagus. No contents listed.
Fishy.
Could it be a drug thing?
With a slaughterhouse scene like this, someone wanted to get a message across here. Why get rid of the bodies, though?
Dunno. No sense to any of it.
What about the sarcophagus? Anybody take a look?
It's sealed up tight, fused together practically. Can't even find a seam. You'd almost think it was solid. Who's there? Suspects fled the scene.
Hey, baby. Well. Okay, honey.
Hop in.
Hey! I know this might seem creepy and all, but please don't blow me off, okay? Someone told me I could find you here. I mean, I've been looking all over for you since that night. I want to help you. I owe you my life, and I feel like I need to repay you. I almost forgot. I'm Heather. Only because of you, what you did for me. Here, I got you this. I thought you might be able to use it. I can be useful to you. I'd do anything, just tell me you'll let me help you. Let me stay with you. Make me feel this way. Really? I promise you won't regret it. Promise. I'll get you money, I'll get you things, everything. I want to be... I know where you live. I checked there first. I'll wait for you at your place. And when you do come back, I'll take care of whatever you want. I'd do anything for you.
Evening, Chief. You back to see Mr. LaCroix again? Yeah, he told me to send you up as soon as you came in. Lots of people here to...
I've said all I need to for now. I don't have time for a monologue. Give me the bullet points of what you saw. And the Ankaran sarcophagus. What did you see? Opened? Let's not jump to conclusions. Give me the manifest in your notes. I'll sort this mess later. You might have noticed when you came in. Those were the Primogen, this city's clan elders. A worrisome bunch devoted first and foremost to the security of their own skin. Which is why they were here. It seems Alistair Grout, the Malkavian Primogen, has either forgotten how to answer his phone, or is missing. Each minor problem like a grain of sand. Each night I inherit the desert. The Sabbat's appearance has put the Primogen on edge. Grout's mansion is in the Hollywood Hills. I need you to pry Grout out of whatever crack he's crawled into and have him contact us. Yes, about Grout. As I said, Grout is the Malkavian Primogen. His behavior and home are eccentric, to say the least. He's developed a... When we hear from Grout?
Yeah, you go right on up. Let's see what we got on good old camera 3. Oh, well, hello there.
Going somewhere?
You? What are you doing here?
Queen, where all is
Out now. You should get out of here. This place...
Rustling robes of the Reaper.
I'm not listening to you! Shut up!
It is quite peculiar, the happenings I've been made to witness for my supernatural longevity. I am thinking of one unfortunate phenomenon in particular, of unique interest to my station, both as a professional and as a sufferer of this vampiric condition. It seems the stream of time has begun to erode the moorings of my chosen course of study, for the methodologies that gave birth to psychology are slowly disappearing. I find myself in an era that overlooks the physical component of psychological pathology time and again in favor of the sophistic practices of Freud. Phrenology, dactopintilism, and the rest of the old guard has fallen by the wayside, its champions all silenced in death, with my unique exception. Would that I could make my voice heard again, although it may be suspicious should I return to popular medical discourse 50 years after my apparent death. No, better that I continue my studies into the psychoses in secret. One day, may I hold up my own cure as validation of the methods, I am confident no cure for my condition or that of my beloved wife lies within our figurative minds, waiting to be another unfortunate casualty to tide of time, insane asylums. I lament their loss not only as brokerage houses for the breadth and depth of human psychoses, but also I shall mourn the disappearance of that peculiar environment present only in an insane asylum. That palpable atmosphere of blistered brains and churning bowels, the odoriferous melange of freely flowing bodily humors, that gently rolling cacophony of distant sobs and screams, the muttered cursing of perceived enemies, and the blissful gurgling of the lobotomized, like a newborn babe discovering the sky. I shall still find test subjects as surely as I find bloody sustenance in the night, but this climate, I fear, may never be replicated. Often I reflect with great regret on the missed opportunity that was my infector. Had I been conscious after the attack, I could have stopped the orderlies from locking her in the roaming pen. What I would give for just one interview, a few simple questions of the play. My studies proceed at a languid pace. I'm mired in a foul ennui as my wife's illness advances. My subjects grow restless without proper supervision, but I cannot pull myself back from this black depression. How many nights I've wasted now, gazing from the tower walk, pondering the frailty of existence. After decades of solitary study into this affliction, I have learned that it is by no means mine alone. Indeed, the city is home to an entire society of similarly afflicted individuals with whom I've only recently made contact. They are an understandably standoffish sort, by and large, but I have been able to confirm with them that the condition is indeed vampirism, which apparently comes in a multitude of strains, each with a spectacular set of symptoms such as invisibility and even a sort of lycanthropy. Through numerous official interactions with the governing body of this secret society, I have concluded that their fundamental understanding of the vampiric condition is woefully lacking and mired in suspicion and pseudo-religious dogma that would make a Turk balk for its strictures. Indeed, they seemed impressed with my studies and the eloquence with which I was able to present them. Apparently, the typical sufferer of my particular strain of vampirism is far from the vanguard of the King's English. So impressed were they that they even offered me an office in their government, a rather high office by the sound of things. I believe I shall accept. If nothing else, it should provide a lofty vantage point from which to observe the breadth and epidemiology of the affliction. I have accepted the role of Primogen for Clan Malkavian, the dreadfully winsome label applied to the particular strain of vampirism I suffer, so named for some supposed vampire father figure of old, or poppycock grown from a backward culture that seems interminably drawn to children's tales and the fiction of Victorian romance, when it should concern itself with the science behind their suffering. No matter, for I have taken this office for no greater reason than to advance. I have accepted the role of Primogen for Clan Malkavian, the dreadfully winsome label applied to the particular strain of vampirism I suffer, so named for some supposed vampire father figure of old, or poppycock grown from a backward culture that seems interminably drawn to children's tales and the fiction of Victorian romance, when it should concern itself with the science behind their suffering. No matter, for I have taken this office for no greater reason than to advance my research. I must make mention, however, that even among my would-be peers in this governing body of vampires, the level of paranoia and superstition is frightening. Their intelligence is not the question, no, indeed. As they courted me for this appointment, I had to suspect that their overtures were hand-tailored to what must be my obvious infatuation with reason, for the devil would do well to have such honey-tongued tempters. Even so, I could not help but notice the dressing of language these vampire leaders chose for their siren song. Whether it is born of habit, as I expand my dealings with the vampire government, I have encountered a disturbing new symptom of this affliction. Frequently, in conversation, I will hear voices emanating from other vampires, voices that are not their own, but which seem to have insight into their lives beyond what I could gather from simple conversation. These voices seem to echo from deep within my fellow vampires, and I cannot be certain if this symptom belongs to my strain of illness or theirs, for the voices are various and inconsistent. I dare not mention this symptom to my vampiric peers, for they have proven themselves truly predators to whom I could be loath to reveal any sign of weakness. Indeed, these voices have counseled me against confessing their presence, and until I can confirm their source, I will listen. The information the voices have given me ranges from curious to frightening. The latter case is especially true of one powerful vampire whose name I shall not commit to recording in the interests of self-preservation. The voices have increased in frequency and direction of late. They have begun to stay with me long after conversation has ceased and are serving as quite a distraction. I fear others are beginning to notice my preoccupation at the vampire gatherings. I am thinking again of the particular vampire of whom I spoke previously, who I dare not name for my growing fear. If the voices are to be believed, then my caution is warranted, for they speak of his blackest crimes, both past and future. More than once I have seen the suspicion in his eyes and heard the distrust in his voice when speaking with me. The fear must register on my face, as it is all I can do in these moments to keep from crying out in chorus with the voices.
They're coming.
Wishes and words sprout from the same seed.
Stop doing that. Mother. Rustling robes of the Reaper.
I am no longer safe. I know it. The voices have proven themselves authentic, and I have withdrawn from the Vampire Society entirely. My absence will no doubt draw attention, but I could no longer hold my fragile composure around the ravenous eyes of my vampire peers, especially not around him. The voices compelled me to make what I fear is a Faustian bargain, but I had to, for their demands are constant and merciless. I have secluded myself within the mansion. I know he will strike out at me. He will go to any length to achieve his ambitions, and he knows it, I know. I have taken precautions to protect my beloved wife, but you will have to wait until your immediate safety is guaranteed. The mansion was constructed with security in mind, but at that time I was not privy to the full range of vampire capabilities. The voices echo in the twisted corridors of my psyche, dark whisperings of a macabre and formless menace, the approach of which portends an end to all of this.
by the flames! Count is dead? Pity it could not be by my hand. As you burn, tell them it was Grünfeld Bach who sent your damned soul to that lake of fire. And let this righteous display serve as a promise to all who serve the Archfiend Lacroix.
Dry the corpse in the oven with peppers and fur.
Sorry, I can't help.
Hey, baby. Well. Okay, honey.
Just back off.
Hey, baby. That's too.
Shrouded in the moon is melting.
Let's see what we got on good old camera 3. Oh, well, hello there. I've been thinking about you. Oh, yeah. I want to lick you all over. Then make my way down to your center and... What the... Get your hands off my Bavarian cream! Evening there. Something burning? Ooh, smells like someone burnt the burgers. Sure, I'll open her up for you. Jeez, I could go for one of them double-spaced burgers. Onions, cheese, bacon, guacamole.
Souls draped in rotten tatters, and father dances in the dark.
The Primogens still haven't been contacted by Grout. I thought I made it clear that you were not supposed to come back until we had heard from him. Grout's dead. What? Bach! Every time I think he's lost the scent. So... Bach is a hunter. They stalk and kill our kind to appease their god. But like many mortals, their so-called faith is nothing but a conduit through which they quench their killing urge. Who else would have killed Grout? Look at me. Are you sure it was Nines Rodriguez? It means, under most circumstances, I would call a blood hunt on the murderer immediately. However, the anarchs of this city may interpret such an action to be a declaration of war. I do not want a war with them. This decision will take some time. I need to confer with the Primogen on this. In the meantime, I've come to a decision on the Ankaran sarcophagus, and I believe that for the safety of the inhabitants of this city, we need to place the sarcophagus under Camarilla protection until its contents can be confirmed. This also is very important, so I need to call upon your skill once more. The Ankaran sarcophagus was quietly delivered to the Museum of Natural History a few hours ago. I would like you to bring it back here for safekeeping. Let me finish. The manifest from the Dane shows there was a small box from the same dig on board, but it was listed as missing. Keep an eye open for it. It may have been overlooked. It's crucial we get the sarcophagus in our possession within the next few hours. Yes, of course. Here. I can't have one of my representatives running around ill-equipped for their task. Here are the keys to the front door of the museum. One or two, but that's all. My history with that family dates back to Bach's grandfather, who pursued me into Africa, where I killed him. Bach's father tracked me to London to meet his death. And now Bach and the Society of Leopold have followed me across America. They never learn. Witch hunters, an anachronistic holdover from the Middle Ages. They are inquisitors whose fanaticism is... A blood hunt is a death sentence. When one commits a high crime against our society, a blood hunt may be called. It is then the responsibility of the city's kindred. There is a degree of immediacy attached to this task. Work fast. And, as on the Dane, you are not to open the Ankaran...
Hey, baby. For a... Well... Okay, honey. Let's see what...
That fellow went down there. You got behind a car. This is down. Someone... What? Oh, yeah, right. You got shot and you didn't know that. That's all right.
partner. Outstanding. Yeah, that's beautiful. Everything looks in order. Somebody somewhere got to be pissed off by losing this. Too bad I sent my man right here after him. All right, I'll just drop this off to the new owner in the morning. Then I'm gonna get me a big old steak. Not that domestic stuff neither. I'm gonna order up 32 ounces of Kobe beef, the expensive shit. My man.
Hey, baby. Well, Okay, honey.
Where to?
Bone rattle melodies and worm-laden rains.
Freeze!